Hey everyone, my name is Lauren. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm giving you guys a very brief introduction to the 6 clairs. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I do a lot of videos on metaphysics, on psychic ability. I am a psychic myself. I learned all of this from the Aspen program for psychic development. I was also a coach there, and so a lot of this information is from that program. So if you want to learn more about the clairs, check out my course in the link below. I basically teach you guys everything about the clairs, how to exercise them, how to use them, everything in massive detail. This video is more because I get this question asked so many times on my channel, and I just want to help categorize all the clairs, sort of give you a brief overview about what they are, how you use them, all that. So to understand clairs, first we have to talk about just psychic information. So when you ask any sort of question, when you're trying to sort of reach out to your spirit guides, your angels, whatever you believe in, whatever you want to call it, and we're trying to get information that is from this sort of other world, this other place, universe, whatever you want to call it, we receive that information, and that is called, I usually call it just psychic information. Now, the clairs are how you receive that psychic information. So we have 6 clairs, and basically they are an extension of our 5 senses, plus 1 is what I like to say. So the clairs are basically an extension of your 5 senses. You have taste, touch, smell, seeing, and hearing. I think it's the 5 senses. Hopefully I got that right. And so basically each clair corresponds with one of those senses. And it's basically like your psychic sense. So first we have clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is being able to psychically see. Now I go way more in depth in this in my courses, but basically it is being able to receive psychic information and see it. Seeing it in your mind's eye. Not necessarily in physical reality. Sometimes it's just kind of like superimposed in your brain. You might feel like you see a spirit there. You might feel like you see the number that you're searching for, something like that. But it's basically when you ask a question, you're looking for some sort of information, maybe you're not even looking at all, and you pick up psychic information and you can see it. The next clair is clairaudience. Audience stands for hearing. So clairaudience is about hearing information. So clairaudience is kind of like thoughts. It's like thoughts in your brain. It sounds like a voice. It might be your voice. It might be somebody else's voice. But you feel like it's kind of in your ears that you get the information. It's hard to describe very briefly, but know that it's basically thoughts and sort of auditory input. Clairsentience. Clairsentience is psychic feeling. And so psychic feeling, this is basically what empaths are. So to kind of categorize that all, if you're described as an empath, it really means that you can feel things. So clairsentience is about picking up emotions, picking up physical sensations. And so that's why empaths kind of have their own term, because they use that clair so much that they basically got their own name. So I would say that clairsentience is sort of up above empath. Empath is sort of another name for somebody who's clairsentient. So when you're picking up information clairsentiently, you are feeling things. You might have body tingles. You might feel suddenly warm or cold. Like it's a very physical sensation. And so that's clairsentience. The 4th clair is clairalience. And clairalience is psychic smelling. I know that kind of sounds a little weird, but bear with me. Clairalience is basically when you receive psychic information through a smell. The best example I can give is, some of us have relatives that have passed, and sometimes we can feel them come in and we can associate them with a certain smell. So, my grandpa, for example, smoked a lot of pipe tobacco. And so whenever I feel his presence, all of a sudden I just get this huge smell of pipe tobacco. And I know that there is no pipe tobacco in my house or anywhere near me. So that is Clairalience. And so that one makes a little sense, which is why I wanted to save Clairgustance for last. Clairgustance is psychic tasting. So you can kind of understand where Clairalience comes from. Clairgustance I would say is one of the lesser known clairs, or lesser even used clairs, but there are some people who will rely on this sensation alone. Clairgustance, again, it's about being able to taste the answers. And I think that some of you are probably like, how does that happen? But you could ask a question and you can sort of get maybe a rough feeling in your mouth. And so maybe you assign that feeling or that sensation is a negative thing. And so you use your psychic abilities to answer that question. So I know Clairgustance and Clairalience are a little bit different, but they are part of the psychic senses and you can receive information that way. So last but not least is Claircognizance, and this is one that gets most confused. So Claircognizance, I like to think of it as, so here's all those other 5 clairs. Claircognizance is honestly the apex of all of those other clairs being developed. So Claircognizance is when you just get a fast download. It is a download of information that you can't really, the biggest thing is you can't really identify if you heard it, if you saw it, if you felt it, you just know. And so I think that it's interesting because I think a lot of people who have not practiced their psychic abilities, Claircognizance is their strongest clair. But then I think once we get practicing, we start to rely a little bit more on our other clairs, and then it takes us a little bit longer to remember how to come back to Claircognizance. So a lot of people think that the clairs are, you're stuck with one and you're one only. That's not true. You definitely favor certain clairs over others. So for example, I'm very clairvoyant and I'm clairaudient. And so I see and I hear things. When I get really well practiced and when I'm doing a lot of readings and volunteering events, I end up getting claircognizant and I'm just like bam, 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 and I just know. So what I talk about in my courses is how to isolate each of those clairs and strengthen them. For example, if you are very empathic and very clairsentient and you are like, I do not want to keep feeling this shit, you can stop that. You can train your brain to stop relying on one clair over the other. And I've done this. This is basically what I learned in the Aspen program for psychic development. So in the course that I'm teaching you guys in the link below, I teach you guys how to identify those clairs, how to isolate them, and how to exercise each and every one of them. So if you want to be able to see more, you can learn all these different exercises for getting psychic information and being able to see it instead of hearing it or feeling it or whatever you're getting. So everybody out there, anybody that is receiving psychic information, they are receiving it through one of 6 clairs. How you receive psychic information is different than who you are receiving psychic information from. I talk about that in kind of an earlier course that I'm doing on Udemy. But the clairs are how. How do you receive that psychic information? How does it come through your filter? How do you perceive it? And how do you understand it? And the more that you can understand how you are bringing that information in, the more you can bring in. Because as soon as you understand, oh, I'm seeing things, oh, I'm hearing things, then it's a lot easier to keep exercising that clair and keep receiving psychic information. So again, if you're interested in learning more about the clairs, I talk about it way more in my Udemy course. Check it out in the link below. I also have a playlist on my YouTube channel, and it's actually additional exercise videos that go along with the course, but I'm making them free and available to everyone because I want everyone to be able to practice. So if you want to start there. They're standalone. I basically have one whole video on Clairaudience, one whole video on Clairgustance. I'll link those as well. Thanks for watching, you guys. Let me know in the comments below what clairs are strongest for you, or what clair do you think you have? And if you have any questions about them, let me know. I want to make sure that I address all of this in some of the videos that I make in the future. Remember to subscribe to my channel. I have a ton of videos on how to develop your psychic ability. That's what I do, and I'm an intuitive coach, so hopefully you'll like my videos. Thanks for watching again, you guys. Remember at the end of the day to trust your own intuition.